Today we're going to be taking a look at the Sigma MC-21 adapter, which allows you to use EF glass on Panasonic's L-mount cameras. No messing around today, it's going to be straight to the point because I've told myself that for once I'm going to make a video that is actually less than 10 minutes long. So let's get that intro out of the way and I'll see you back here in a few seconds. Welcome back to the channel. This episode, as I said, is all about the Sigma MC-21 or 21 adapter. I'm going to run it through a series of tests and pretty much give a first impression video of it as well, because I've only had it a few days. I'll show you a few issues that I've already had with the adapter and essentially work out whether or not this is worthwhile for your photography or videography needs. This essentially allows you to attach any of your EF or Canon glass onto a camera such as the LUMIX S1 or any camera with an L mount, so the S1H, the S1R and even the LUMIX S5 that's got an L mount. First off, let's have a look at the build quality. It seems to be pretty well made, robust, which is what you're going to need with a lot of full frame lenses. That is a beefy, like that could be a flask. So these need to be robust for those kind of lenses and maintain that weight that's going to be added onto the camera. Without both the rear and the front caps on, it weighs 148 milliliters, 148 grams. That's not too bad at all. As reference, let's quickly test the weight of the Metabones EF to MFT Ultra adapter that I've got. 165 grams, so 1 milliliters. The finish has quite a nice texture to it. It's unlike any of the lenses that I own from Sigma. It's got quite a grainy texture to it, but I mean it's still smooth. It's not like sandpaper. If anything, it's like the native 24 to 105 lens from Panasonic. So if you own one of these and take a look at that, it's similar to that. So let's attach it to the LUMIX S1. It fits quite nicely to the mount itself, which you'd expect it to anyway. If I attach one of my favorite ever lenses, which is the Sigma 18 to 35 lens, let's see if I can get something like, there we go. Let's get that onto the adapter. There is a little bit of wiggle room. I don't know if you can. That's exactly the same as what you get with the Metabones that I was talking about earlier. I can't say whether this slight little looseness is a regular occurrence with all adapters. I'm used to that, so it's fine for me. If some of you already know this lens, you're probably thinking that is an APS-C lens and it will not work on the LUMIX S1, which granted, naturally it doesn't. When you attach this through a converter onto this, you will naturally get a vignette around the edge of your frame. However, what Panasonic have included in these cameras is the ability to change from full frame to APS-C mode. Once that's enabled, that vignetting is gone. If you're hoping to get away with using APS-C mode and continue to use the full frame image area of the video, not only do you see the expected vignetting up to around 24mm, but with my S1, it seems to blacken out the right hand side of the frame up to where the APS-C crop would naturally kick in. You also get this semi-transparent rectangle smack bang in the middle of your image, and that's where the APS-C crop would effectively take place, which is completely unusable if you're shooting videos. That was a bit of a shame to see. For me, it's not a massive issue. However, I thought it would be worthwhile mentioning it to you guys for anyone who might have a little less experience with knowledge of sensor sizes or the intended usage of lenses such as this one. When I first tested this setup the other day, I did encounter this weird warping issue. I thought it wasn't working properly. I asked around online and someone got back to me and said that this was distortion compensation software effectively bugging out in the camera because the contacts of the lens and the adapter didn't have perfect connection, especially during brisk movements. The lens itself isn't that old. I'm hoping it's not anything wrong with the adapter and I'm hoping it is just a one-off, but it isn't nice knowing that at any point it could just decide to. Also, the adapter doesn't come with any USB port, so in terms of future firmware updates to maybe solve issues like this, you can't do it. Instead, Sigma state that regarding lenses to be released in the future, data for operating these lenses via the adapter will be stored in the lens, so it means that no firmware updates of the MC-21 will be required to use those new lenses. That's a little bit disappointing that it can't fix any issues with existing lenses. Unlike the cheaper alternatives out there of an EF to L mount adapter, the Sigma MC-21 does maintain electronic communication between the lens and the camera, which effectively means that you can adjust the aperture from the camera itself and you can also utilize the lens's autofocus. When it comes to autofocus, Sigma claimed that high precision AF photography in AFS mode is achieved. With my limited experience of this adapter, there is a drop when it comes to both accuracy and speed. However, that's always the case when using non-native lenses through an adapter onto a different camera. In my opinion, Sigma's phrasing here is quite clever because it's not directly comparing its autofocus performance to another camera. So high precision is effectively a loose phrase because it has no comparable performance. The adapter also doesn't support continuous autofocus, so if you're a vlogger and you're hoping to use a lens such as this on your L-mount camera, it's not going to work. I feel like this video is just going to be me slating this, and that's not what I was after. Personally, I'm a big fan of the adapter and I'm really glad that I've got it. I also managed to get this at a really good price via Sigma UK's eBay store, so thank you to Sigma for giving me a little bit of a discount on that as well. It's really appreciated. When paired with the Sigma 18-35, having the ability to essentially have a 27 to 52mm f1.8 lens on a full frame body, that's a great option to have in your camera bag. Like really good. Low light's never going to be an issue because A, you've got a maximum aperture of 1.8, but also the low light on this camera is amazing. It now means that I can essentially use the main bulk of my lenses, which are EF glass, on both camera systems that I own. However, I will always keep the LUMIX 24-105 just so I've got a native one in the camera bag and I can always rely on the autofocus performance if I really need it. And really quickly before we finish off, I did test it with good old Canon's nifty 50 lens, all seemed to work fine except terrible autofocus, and the same with the Sigma 70-200 f2.8 lens. These two are full frame lenses, so you can shoot on the S1 via the adapter with the full frame image area. You don't have to go into APS-C like you do with the 18-35. So that is it for this week's video. Hopefully it's under 10 minutes like I promised at the start. If you have enjoyed the video, as ever, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're almost at 200 subscribers, so that's another little milestone that I set shortly after 100, so we're getting there little by little. As always guys, take care and I'll see you in the next video.